What's good, YouTube? With the introduction of the Zodiac format, we have had protective cards come into play a whole lot more. Namely, My Body is a Shield and Starlight Road were huge stars of the show at first, protecting your fields from Raigekis, Dark Holes, Kaiju Slumbers, and all sorts of things. But what if I told you My Body has seemed to be power crept lately by one other quick play spell? Introducing Pianissimo. It reads, target one face-up monster you control. This turn, that face-up monster's original attack and defense becomes 100. Also, that face-up monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So not only will it live that first field wipe, but a second and a third. You're not taking care of it this turn, even by battle. You're going to have to spin it off the field with something like Castel, or you're going to have to banish it. You're going to have to take care of it some way besides destruction, battle, or card effect. Now, it has some actually really cool interactions with Zoo, and I know you guys are tired of Zoo. I know you're tired of hearing about this, but hear me out for a second here. Enough hears? This card gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of all Zodiac monsters attached to it as materials. That's a continuous effect. Ooh, what does a continuous effect mean? It means that even if you activate Pianissimo in damage step, which you can do because it does change the attack to 100, the original attack, this is an additional continuous effect. It does not change the Zoo's original attack and is applied instantly after Pianissimo even resolves. So going into damage calc, your monster will be as buff as all the materials behind it for your Zoo monsters. Now, Zoo's one of the very few monsters that gain this, but it also applies in the future to, say, equip spells if those become relevant. It applies to anything else that is continuous that would apply to your monsters. Now, Zoo's not the only thing this is both good with and against. Let's say you have a True King return, tributed for the summon of a true Draco monster such as Masterpiece. Pianissimo can chain to the effect, protect your monster, and leave a wall that they cannot get past for that turn. True Kings have a huge problem getting past things that can't be destroyed, and this definitely helps. Now, another note is often that fields with a Trident will often have a Hammer Kong behind them, so it's very much, it strengthens a board with a Hammer Kong behind it 2 to 3 fold. And then the player going second actually can't use theirs on any of their own Zoo monsters in the mirror match, so you gotta be careful playing it in the mirror match. But another card that's very good with could be Masterpiece, the true Draco Slaying King. Let's say you tribute a trap in a monster, which I think is the most common tribute trick in the book, because Knuckles, aka Dynamite Knight, gets you a True King's Return or Apocalypse behind him, and then you can activate the effect attributing both of those materials, having only used one card, essentially, to bring out your Masterpiece. Not only will it be boosted and protected once by battle, by your field spell if it's up, your Dragonic Diagram, but this would protect it a second time, and most of the time, whenever Masterpiece is actually threatened, it tends to be by 2 battle tricks, like a lightning and something else, or it tends to be by having forced it out and then going by battle. So Pianissimo, if you've got life points to spare, can be very nice. Now, another card in here is Solemn Strike. Pianissimo will actually protect your monster from Solemn Strike. So let's say you've got a card that is not going to be able to be lost in that turn. You want to keep that card no matter what, and you're going to use its effect anyway later, like let's say a Conductor, but you need to flip their whole field face down and then you can use its effect to destroy things. You could actually use this with an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Make sure it's protected from Solemn Strike if you didn't have a miscellaneous source to use on him that turn. And then wipe through that entire board still. It's definitely got applications and many decks, but I think Zoo's just the best because it protects, it reapplies the attack, and it goes in really hard. Now, we do want to keep this card in mind for future formats. There will be formats where you have boss monsters that you want to protect no matter what on the field without having to force their effects, and Pianissimo will help greatly. Deviati has 2900 defense, summoned in defense. It can give a read, and you can give read for Pianissimo, but it's just really hard to play around a card with a monster that will proactively do other things for you. Hopefully this tech highlight helped you. A lot of you guys probably already knew about Pianissimo if you've been paying attention to the meta, but I've been meaning to do a tech highlight on this for a while. It's a very good, very cheap, very budget card. It's really good against and with Trident. It's very good in many decks, not just Zoo. It does shine in Zoo, where you gain that natural advantage and reapply the continuous effects for attack, but there's other places for it in the meta here and there, as well as something to keep in mind for future events, future formats, because it's really important to keep cards in mind when you're deck building in future formats, because you never know when it's going to break the entire meta. Thanks for watching, guys.